Hello and many thanks for joining us on Ogtv News. I am Iyabo Awujola. First, the highlights. President Buhari challenges world leaders to prioritize humane policies for global economy. Ogun set to vaccinate 2 million residents against COVID-19 before end of the year. UN raises concerns over continued detention of IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu by DSS. South African judge dismisses application by former President Zuma for removal of prosecutor on his trial. Education is both a tool of social justice as well as a fundamental driver of economic development.
And on business news, President Muhammadu Buhari says e-Naira, BVN, TSA, NIN should give investors comfort. These and more to come on the business segment of the news. I am Simiat Abaru.
And coming up on sport news, FIFA bans Nigerian coach for 2 years. This and more sports stories much later on the news. My name is Moses Ojewumi. Stay with us.
And now to the main news. President Muhammadu Buhari has described underdevelopment in human projects as the genesis of the prevailing insecurity and social-economic challenges bedeviling the global community. The Nigerian leader therefore challenged world leaders and potential investors to prioritize inclusive and humane policies as critical pathways towards re-energizing the global economy in a post-COVID-19 era. This was at the 5th edition of the Future Investment Summit in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Given Nigeria perspective to invest in the humanity, President Muhammadu Buhari was emphatic that humane approach to investment is the surest way towards addressing global challenges, especially in a COVID-19 era. He commended the organizers of the Future Investment Summit for the foresight to look at investment not only from the world creation point of view, but also bringing prosperity to humanity.
This is why we in Nigeria, we believe that public and private partnership should focus on increasing investments in health, education, capacity building, youth empowerment, gender equality, poverty eradication, climate change, and food security. We are quick to realize that long-term peace and stability of our country is dependent on having inclusive and humane policies.
The president is, however, reminding participants that without relieving debt-torn countries from the crushing effect of the debt burden, the objectives of getting the deserved investment in humanity cannot be realized. These nations, he said, increasingly allocate substantial resources towards external debt servicing and repayment at the expense of services that contribute to the overall well-being of their population.
Largest economy and most populous nation. Our economic reforms, which focus on humane investments, are ideal for investors looking to have profitable returns while positively impacting the citizenry. Infrastructure investment represents significant potential for investors in Nigeria. We have opportunities in seaports, rail, toll roads, real estate, renewable energy, and many others. We have created several institutions that are available to co-invest with you in Nigeria.
Buhari used the opportunity to showcase Nigeria and her enormous potentials in critical economic sector, especially in agriculture, mining, and ICT.
Towards a sustainable economy in our various countries, let us not forget the negative impact of climate change on our efforts to achieve this goal. Nigeria and many other countries in Africa are already facing the challenges posed by climate change. I hope and pray that this forum will rise to the challenge in the interest of durable peace and sustainable development.
President Muhammadu Buhari, apart from humane approach to investment, the global community must also sustain efforts at combating the COVID-19 pandemic, mitigating its negative social-economic impact to the society, basic resilience, as well as achieving recovery. Ogun State government is working round the clock to beat an imminent deadlier fourth wave of COVID-19 and future pandemics with the vaccination of no fewer than 2 million residents before the festive period. Dr. Tomi Koka, the State Commissioner for Health, dropped the hint while speaking with our reporter Gbenga Dikoya in Abeokuta. She said, come Monday, November 1st, 2021, the state will begin massive vaccination of residents at various designated vaccination centers.
We're going to have a mass campaign starting from next Monday, and our aim is to have 2 million Ogun State citizens vaccinated. We will have 422 static vaccination sites. We're going to have roaming vaccinators that will move from one market to car park, to religious centers, to any major gathering. We're going to involve our religious centers, mosques, churches, the large mosques and churches, because you know Ogun State is known for those mega churches. We're also going to have our private sector involved. There will be 22 private hospitals, one per LGA, and with E4 and Abeokuta, there will be 2 extra private facilities that will be able to give this.
Dr. Coker observed that there is always a surge in cases of COVID-19 after festive periods, hence the need for massive preparedness to curb the adverse effect.
We want everyone that has not been vaccinated, that is above the age of 18, to come forward and get vaccinated during this period. We have a 10-week mass campaign period, and you don't have to pay. The only areas, if you choose to go to the private sector, they will charge you a token fee just for the consumables. But there are multiple government facilities where vaccination is still going on free, which is the tertiary, the secondary, all our primary healthcare centers, markets, as I mentioned earlier on, motor parks. So we look forward to a mass turnout. You would ask me, why do we want this? This is to ensure that come Christmas, we don't end up with the fourth wave.
Joined all and sundry to go out en masse and seize the opportunity to get themselves vaccinated. Poised to enhance land administration and seamless land service in Ogun State, the state government will on Wednesday launch an online portal, Ogun State Land Administration and Revenue Management System, OLAMS. According to a statement signed by the Commissioner for Finance and the Chief Economic Advisor, Dapo Okubadijo, the portal scheduled to be launched at Ogun Tech Hub, situated along Kobakwe Road, Abeokuta, will create an opportunity for residents of the state and the general public to conduct land services matters through a single, simple online portal. Okubadijo further explained that OLAMS will create a digitized, automated, and accessible platform that will provide quality, speed, and integrity for all land-related products and services in Ogun State. From the 27th of October 2021, buying land directly from the government will be stress-free and transparent without encumbrances, as everything can now be processed online through www.olams.ogunstate.gov.ng. The schemes available for sale on the OLAMS website from 27th October 2021 include Hillcrest Estate, Abeokuta, and the President Muhammadu Buhari Estate along Kobakwe Road, Abeokuta. Other schemes in other areas of the state will be added onto OLAMs in the nearest future for residential, commercial, and industrial land acquisition, the commissioner stated. He also noted that the portal will also offer the public who have encroached on the state government's land in different parts of the state an opportunity to get title documents for such land via the state government's property registration program, PRP, an amnesty program available for only a defined period. PRP is being offered in phases starting with areas such as Ikiriku, Olokuta, Ijeolukosi, Ladirin, Abeokuta, Agunriti in Abeokuta South, and Obafemi Owode local government area, Asheshe, Mowe, Orimerumu, Makugi, Shefiu Shote, Olowotedo, Magboro, Akeron, Ibafo in Obafemi Owode and Ifo local government areas, Ayetoru, Lukosi, Seidu, Ogijo, Ilara, Agutoye villages, Shimawa, Emagbon, Konigbagbe in Shagamu local government area and Ilaro Township in Yewa South local government area, Okubadijo added. He, however, disclosed that OLAMs will cater for CFO applications made by property home owners in Ogun State who applied through the homeowners charter scheme of the various administration while assuring that the title documents will be provided to all applicants who made full payment to the state government but are yet to receive the title documents. For more information, members of the public can contact the OLAMS unit via website olams.ogunstate.gov.ng or email olams@ogunstate.gov.ng and telephone number 0700 111 9999. Okubadijo submitted. Ogun State Deputy Governor, Engineer Mrs. Noimot Salako Oyedele, has made a charge to learners across the state to improve their attitude towards education in order to attain success in the pursuit of life. The Deputy Governor gave this admonition in her office at Okemoson while receiving Master Aliu Mustafa Olashile at Junior Secondary School 3 of Z Excellent Schools Atonota, who emerged the best overall winner of the 2020-2021 Spellit Battle of Champions competition held in Abuja. Mrs. Oyedele reiterated that the present administration has put a lot of efforts in improving teaching and learning activities by providing enabling environment, improving infrastructural facilities across the state, employment of teachers to aid teaching process, celebrating students that has emerged winners in different competitions, and many more.
And my prayer is that this is just the beginning of the many great successes which Mustafa will enjoy in his life. It's also for the school definitely a testament to the effort that the school is putting in to support their children. Because no matter how brilliant a child is, the school can only enhance it and bring out the brilliance and guide the brilliance of that child to make a success of whatever it is the child wants to achieve in life.
She appreciated World Best Television, the organizers of the competition, and the national coordinator, Mr. Fred Iwoha, for putting in place such worthy competition that will continue to encourage students to be actively engaged and also enhance their learning ability. In her remark, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Mrs. Abosede Ogunleye, while congratulating the winner, said such competition tends towards developing children. In his address, the National Coordinator of Spell-It Battle of Champions competition revealed that the competition cut across the 34 states of the country with over 600 students competing in different stages of the contest. There is the need for young Nigerians to add self-development and vocational skills to their certificates if they are to become major players in the workplace of the future. The Ogun State NYSC coordinator, Dr. Mrs. Belinda Faniyi, made this submission at the swearing-in of the 2021 Batch C Stream 1 core members at the orientation camp in Shagamu. Ronke Adeyemi has the details.
2021 Batch C Stream 1. 1,500 prospective corps members.
The National Youth Service Corps was created with the purpose of inculcating Nigerian youth with the spirit of selfless service to the community and to emphasize oneness, irrespective of cultural or social background. In realization of this objective, the swearing-in ceremony of the 2021 Batch C Stream 1 was held at the NYSC Orientation Camp in Shagamu. Representing the Chief Judge of Ogun State, Justice Agbelu, administered the oath of service to the new corps members. Ogun NYSC coordinator Dr. Mrs. Belinda Faniyi called for high level of enthusiasm and discipline among corps members towards the exercise, as well as admonished them to be self-sufficient through skills and entrepreneurship program that will be provided to them.
At the launch pad of the service year, this orientation course will prepare you physically and mentally for your expected contributions to the progress and development of our fatherland.
Corps members described their experience at the Ogun State Orientation Camp as a good one, and that it lives to the expectation of being a 5-star camp.
Ogun State is really good, the air is nice, and I really commend it for all the assistants and started.
Great. It has been a blessing to me. Being in this camp, this state, one of the best camps in Nigeria. I'm so happy and I'm good that I'm here.
NYSC's scheme is not just about service to the nation, but also an opportunity to build a platform for personal development. Aderonke Adeyemi, Ogtv News.
The Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP, has criticized the establishment of new polytechnics in Nigeria, saying it is abysmally wrong for the government to churn out licenses for new polytechnic-like constituency projects, while the existing ones are apparently in a pathetic state and unattractive for prospective students. ASUP President, Comrade Anderson Izebi, who said this in his opening address at a workshop tagged Advocacy Roundtable on the Future of Nigerian Polytechnics, organized by his union, also expressed in strong terms displeasure that the government is doing less in revitalizing tertiary institutions in the country, especially the polytechnics. Still ahead, United Nations raises concerns on the detainment of Nnamdi Kanu by DSS and his treatment in custody. Details and more reports after this break. Join us again. In recent times in Nigeria, there have been reports of jailbreaks in different parts of the country, with the latest being the one that happened at the Oyo Medium Security Custodial Center. This report by Bumi Adigun gives details of how the incident happened and the steps taken by government to rearrest the inmates. His report.
Another jailbreak, this time in Oyo State, southwest Nigeria. This latest attack of Oyo Medium Security Custodial Center, Abeokuta, Oyo State, made it 13 jailbreaks across the country in 5 years. From the Medium Security Custodial Center in Kaba, Kogi State, was where 240 inmates out of 294 prisoners in custody were freed. Oko and Benin Correctional Centers were also touched, freeing 1,993 inmates. Next was NCOS Center in the Okitipupa local government area of Ondo State, where 58 inmates were freed, while hoodlums broke into a correctional facility in Imo State with explosives and freed about 1,844 inmates. Heavily armed invaders again engaged and overpowered the officers at Oyo Medium Security Custodial Center, Abeokuta, Oyo State, on duty, blew up the walls with dynamite and gained entrance into the custodial center, where they released the inmates. 575 inmates were released, 262 recaptured, and the manhunt is still on.
In this custodial center, we don't have any high-profile inmate. The only person we have is that person who has a case with EFCC. And for your information, he's still with us here. He didn't go to anywhere.
They've gone searching for inmates, and in the last 2-3 hours, they've recaptured more than close to 300 inmates.
Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, on Sunday paid an unscheduled visit to the scene of the incident.
Suggest that any such attack will happen or be possible given the security measures we have put in place and the nature of fear. Let me assure Nigerians of their safety of lives and property. Our custodial facilities are safe, and we are putting extra safety measures in place in light of the observed pattern of the external attacks we have seen to prevent any such occurrence in the future.
Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, also made a broadcast to allay the fears of the people of the state and assured that perpetrators will be brought to book.
I'm therefore using this opportunity also to put the citizens on alert. There's no better time to repeat the call to action. If you see something, please say something.
When people cannot get justice from the court systems, when it is discovered that they are always in prison for a longer period of time and justice is delayed, they will begin to find ways with which they will get freedom. So most of the times what you find out is the judicial system, how it delays people before their trials get to the final stage. And apart from that, the level of insecurity can lead to the issue of jailbreak.
Shortage of armed squad, weapons, poor security architecture in prisons, among others, was said to be major cause of the many jailbreaks. Bumi Adigun, Ogtv News.
We are now joined by a legal practitioner, Patrick Iwo, to talk more on the recent jailbreaks in the country. You are welcome to Ogtv News.
Thank you very much.
Between 2020 and this year, the nation has recorded 13 jailbreaks. What do you think is fundamentally wrong?
Security issue.
Is that
simple?
All?
Yes.
So how do you mean?
I'll tell you. You see, the issue of jailbreak, if you look at the modus operandi, look at the recent one in Oyo, look at the one in Edo, look at the one in, Ondo, look at the one in Owerri, discover that there's one pattern: gunmen coming to attack. Whether we want to know the gunmen or we want to still know unknown gunmen, that's just a pattern. And you look at it, it boils down to one thing: security.
So is there a link between these incidents and slow dispensation of justice in the country?
I do not think so, unless I want to deceive myself. It's not. Because if it had to do with the issue of, that it would have been a sort of an internal revolt within the prisoners. But we are talking of external gunmen. It's as if there's maybe in all these prisons, either the masterminds want to get at the government for whatever reason, or there is a high-profile inmate they want to set free. That's what I think.
So do you now think that the nation's correctional centers are well equipped and secured?
Tell me which part of the country is equipped and secured. The correctional center is part of the Nigerian society. The truth is the Nigerian society is in decay, and the correctional center is part of it. Unfortunately, the correctional center that plays a pivotal role in the administration of criminal justice system is being left to decay. I remember vividly after Chief Obasanjo came out of there, became head of state, he did a lot of things to alleviate the sufferings of inmates, improving their welfare.
How?
Yes, in
terms of food?
In terms of food.
Okay.
Even though, yes, we know at the end of the day, a good number of those rations ends up in the stomach of the wardens, but then there was an improvement. If you go there to visit any prisoner, you will hardly believe this fellow is a prisoner.
And they were also engaged in vocational skills.
Oh, definitely. I can say that.
So then do you now think that these correctional officers are adequately trained for this job?
They are not. That's just the truth.
So what do we do?
Well, the truth is, most of us in Nigeria these days, we just do the jobs we do, okay, just to fulfill all righteousness, get paid, and everybody go home, and we are all happy. And the correctional center is part of it. Now, the issue is, until we sit down and look at the whole security apparatus of this country, those jailbreaks will continue.
So what do you think can be done in order to forestall a reoccurrence?
First and foremost, the government should have to search their own conscience and ask themselves, do they actually want to keep the security of this country intact? They have to answer that question. Until that is done, nothing. And I tell you, nothing. Because we go to Southwest, Northeast and West, issue of, we play politics with these bandits. Well, you see, let us tag them terrorists, let us not tag them terrorists. If the country will break down, is it the kind of thing we should be talking? And day in, day and night, they continue their massive this without even looking at anybody's face.
And then do you think the country has the capacity to handle such a situation?
The beauty thing about this country is that Nigeria, we have the capacity to do whatever it is we set our mind to do. We have that capacity. Why not? We have it.
So are we talking about the human aspect or the equipment?
The political will. The political will is not there. Our politicians are still, I just don't know. But the political will is not there. And that's the problem.
So how can we fire on that? How can we bring it alive?
I think the populace should rise up. We need to do more than answers. We need to do more. We need to take our own destiny in our own hands and let the politicians know that enough is enough. A commander-in-chief is a politician, for goodness sake. And then we are talking of, look at the states. We are talking of true federalism. How can you operate a true federal system, true federalism, without having state police? Now, the prison is under the exclusive list, for goodness sake. It's not within the state capacity of the state. And look at the state governors are being called upon to go and protect. So that's a problem.
I know if I should allow you, Barrister Patrick, I know you want to continue and continue and continue, but time is actually not on our side. And I want to sincerely thank you so much for coming onto the news tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And now to the rest of the news. The United Nations has raised concerns on the detainment of Nnamdi Kanu by the Department of State Services and his treatment in their custody. This was contained in the mandates of the Special Rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishments, the Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, the Working Group on Enforced or Involuntary Disappearances. Others are Special Rapporteur on the right of everyone to the enjoyment of the highest attainment standard of physical and mental health, Special Rapporteur on Minority Issues, and the Special Rapporteur on the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms while countering terrorism. In the document, the United Nations said it received information on allegations of enforced disappearance, arbitrary detention, torture, and ill treatment of Nnamdi Kanu by Kenyan security officials, as well as his illegal rendition to Nigeria to face trial for terrorism-related charges, which were believed to be linked to his leadership of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. It added that since his rendition to Nigeria, Kanu had been denied family visits, confidential access to a lawyer, and necessary medical treatment for his underlying illness. The United Nations further described the alleged torture and ill treatment of Kanu as alarming, saying they constitute a violation of fundamental human rights. The federal government has asked the Court of Appeal in Abuja to order a fresh trial in an alleged 7.1 billion naira laundering charge against the former governor of Abia State, Senator Orji Uzo Kalu. The government is asking the appellate court to set aside the September 29 judgment of the Federal High Court, Abuja, which prohibited it from retrying the former governor and his firm, Sloke Nigeria Limited. The federal government, through the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, also wants the appeal court to order Senator Kalu and his company to submit themselves for retrial in line with the order of the Supreme Court in its May 8, 2020 judgment, voiding the earlier trial and conviction of Kalu and two others and ordering a retrial. The requests were contained in two notices of appeal filed by a lawyer to the EFCC, Rotimi Jacobs, against the two judgments delivered by Justice Inyang Eko of the Federal High Court, Abuja. The Federal High Court in Abuja had earlier in September barred the federal government from retrying the former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzo Kalu, on the 7.1 billion naira money laundering charge, which the EFCC earlier preferred against him. In a judgment delivered by Justice Inyang Eko, the court held that the Supreme Court did not, in the verdict it gave on Monday, 8, 2020, order the retrial of either Kalu or his firm, Slope Nigeria Limited. The ongoing palliative works on the Singa-Joju Road Altar of the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway entered day 2 and moving on at high speed. Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Ade Akinsoya, while briefing the press, said the work is expected to be completed in 21 days. Bumi Adigun was again at that road to see the level of work. His report.
Palliatives finally on the bad spot of Joju Road, beginning from the flyover and it will get to Singa Junction. One side of the road cordoned off and the pressure on the other side doubled for outward Lagos-bound movements, causing vehicles to move at snail speed.
It was terrible. Anyway, the road was terrible. And in fact, while I interact with some of the industrialists, they made us to realize that because of the bad road, they cannot meet up with the demand for industrial density. Their lead time, their lag time is so wide now. To bring their raw material from Apapa clearing would take them longer day, like ×2 or ×3 of the days that they were used to.
This is a federal government road, but since the wait is unending, Prince Dakwa Abiodun moved all machinery in motion to salvage this road against total collapse.
But we thank God for what is going on today. But what I see saying is that the government should put more effort. If it is to do with tiling, it's better than to put the hardcore because it will still damage again. So we are pleading to the government to tile it so that the masses can see the good work they are doing.
Engineer Ade Akinsoya is the Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure in Ogun State. He said Prince Dakwa Abiodun is moved by the hardship people go through and he needs to move in.
His Excellency, President Abeokuta cannot wait any longer for people to suffer. So the state has taken on the mantle that we need to do something in that area quickly, at least provide some succor. Pending the time, Julius Berger will accelerate work in that area. So that's kind of the quick summary of what is going on right now.
So what is the work that is ongoing? Because we saw that.
Well, I think what basically is this. First thing is to stabilize the bad area with boulders, then upcore. Then once you do that, because the rain is still raining, it looked like it rained there yesterday. So you still have water issue to deal with. So the first thing they did before the work started was to drain or pump out the standing water.
A visit to the road on the second day saw contractors on site who again assured that the work will give a sigh of relief.
As soon as we are done here, we'll bring back traffic here, then we'll move to the other side. How long do you think this will work? Well, in a matter of days, say I wouldn't specify, but just in a matter of days, few days, I'll show you.
Chairman of Abeokuta local government, on behalf of the people of the local government, appreciated the governor for the palliatives.
But our people will now see that the governor is a listening governor, and because the governor has heard their voices and they are bringing support to all of us.
The hardship is temporary, as it will ease out as the work goes on. Bumi Adigun, Ogtv News.
The five-man Ogun State All Progressives Congress Appeal Committee has disclosed that it is yet to receive petition from any aggrieved member, and if any, transparency, equity, and fairness will be used to approach the process in accordance with the party guidelines. The chairman of the appeal committee, Honorable Patrick Obaheagbon, stated this while addressing the press on the latest development as regards petition of aggrieved members towards the state congress.
I'm happy to announce to you that committee members have since been here since about 10 a.m. and it's about 12:30 now. Up till now, there are no petitions. We have equally had interface with the APC headquarters in Abuja to find out if there are petitions flowing from the state congress in Ogun State that were directed to Abuja. And we are told that as at now, there is no petition before the APC headquarters in Abuja, neither is there any petition before us here now.
Honorable Obaheagbon, however, said since there is no petition, it means all party stakeholders are satisfied with the outcome of the state congress. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it has adequate manpower for the conduct of November 6 governorship election in Anambra. INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in Anambra State, Nwachukwu Orji, disclosed this on Tuesday in Awka. Orji, who was reacting to a viral media report that hundreds of ad hoc workers recruited for the Anambra election resigned en masse, said there was no truth in the publication. He said INEC is still in the process of recruiting the ad hoc workers and that they have just finished the last training before the false report. The INEC official explained that none of the ad hoc workers being recruited had been given engagement letter. Losses are one-time removal or decrease in resources or assets. It is mostly unanticipated and if not insured, can be recovered. As a responsible and responsive government committed to reviving transportation businesses through insurance schemes, Ogun State Internal Revenue Service took its awareness campaign on Ogun E-third-party insurance to some motor parks at Ewekoro, Ifo, Abeokuta, and Yewa South axis. Ayodeji Oluwumi completes the report.
Insurance is a contract represented by policy in which an individual or entity receives financial protection or reimbursement against losses from an insurance company. To this end, plans are in the pipeline by the Ogun State government to officially launch Ogun e-third-party insurance. However, the State Internal Revenue Service, alongside Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, Ogun State chapter, took the responsibility to sensitize the transporters at Ewekoro, Ifo, Adoodota, and Yewa South motor parks.
Okay, the essence of the exercise is just the e-third-party motor insurance that though it's been on before, third-party has been on before, but now on e-third-party, it's going to run on a platform.
So the price hasn't changed. What has just changed is that now we want to amalgamate all the insurance companies in Ogun State amalgamated themselves to be giving us a much more comfortable and reliable third-party insurance.
When you go to licensing office, our different IRS offices, get your e-third-party certificate there, and you are covered.
After enlightening the transporters, they expressed their delight in the new third-party insurance schemes, as they confess it is an eye-opener.
Government has promised, say the insurance company, when our drivers or the Okada riders had an accident, they are going to compensate them. We want them to stand firmly on their promise. In that wise, if they can stand firmly on their promise, we promise that our drivers will be coming up to take the insurance policy from the government.
The e-third-party insurance scheme will be officially flagged off on Thursday, 28th of October, 2021. Ayodeji Olunmi, Ogtv News.
Ogun State government will on Wednesday commence town hall meetings on 2022 to 2024 medium-term expenditure framework (MTEF) and the 2022 budget. In a release by the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Olaolu Olabinton said the town hall meetings, which is aimed at eliciting the inputs and opinions of the citizens in the preparation of the MTEF and 2020 budget, is scheduled to kickstart in Ogun East Senatorial District on Wednesday, October 27, 2021 by 2 p.m. Olabinton in the release said the meetings will be virtual, while that of Ogun West and Central will hold on Thursday, October 28 and Friday, October 29 respectively at 10 a.m. The event will be broadcast live via Zoom by Ogtv starting from 2 in the afternoon. Gridlocks occasioned by breakdown of heavy-duty trucks and equipment on the highways may be reduced as Truck Owners Association of Nigeria Ogun State Chapter has taken delivery of 2 heavy-duty towing vehicles for its use. At the commissioning ceremony held in Abeokuta today, the security operatives in Nigeria and government of Ogun State pledged their unflinching support for the association on its initiatives. Tiwalade Faison completes the story.
And of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Congratulations.
Such was the mood of the executive and members of Truck Owners Association of Nigeria, Ogun State Chapter, during the official commissioning of the multi-millionaire trucks purchased to enhance recovery of broken-down trucks and heavy-duty equipment on roads across Ogun State. The zonal chairman of Truck Owners Association of Nigeria, Elder Samuel Shitu, explained that the association had committed a huge amount to the purchase of the towing vehicles as its contribution to the current government's effort at making the road better and safe.
Make boarding easier for our members, that instead of towing our vehicle with a exorbitant price, we can make a contribution, buying our own tow truck, hand over to them so they can be able to use it in case of all those any emergency. They can be able to tow our truck to a nearest place, and then the fine will be minimal. You know, because of the burden of the tow truck, the price is the fine is used to be exorbitant.
The Commissioner of Police, Ogun State Command, Mr. Sikiru Lanre Bankole, who was represented by Assistant Commissioner of Police, Udak Otuita, challenged the association to justify its investment on the towing vehicles by placing high premium on the security of the citizens of Nigeria. The Commissioner of Police, Ogun State Command, assured the association of continued support from the Ogun State Police Command.
I want to encourage you that I'm aware of the existing cooperation between the police and the community and your association. I want you all to assist us more. That's my request on behalf of the CP. That not only to assist us in the area of your specialties or profession, but in crime fighting. I want you people to cooperate with us, give us enough information, work with us. We cannot do it alone.
Welcoming guests to the ceremony, the National Chairman of Truck Owners Association, Alhaji Isiaka Ajitumobi, stressed that the project was the association's contribution to road safety in Nigeria. Alhaji Ajitumobi commended the association for their determination to plow back into the industry in line with the international best practice in road management and transportation to Aladify.
Simia Tabaru is on standby for business news when we return. Join us again.
Yes, you're welcome to the business segment of the news. The World Bank has decried the continued spending by the Nigerian government on petrol subsidy, which it said is on track to gobble up 2.9 trillion naira this year. Its country director for Nigeria, who spoke at the panel session during the 27th National Economic Summit, said the country could channel the money being spent on subsidy to primary health care, basic education and rural roads. Also speaking at the session, the Finance Minister, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said the federal government had made provision for petrol subsidy till the end of June next year. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday in Riyadh said Saudi Arabia said initiatives to drive the digital economy and fight corruption in the country should give investors a lot of comfort. Among the initiatives mentioned by the president are e-Naira, Treasury single account, bank verification number, and national identity number. Speaking at the 5th edition of Future Investment Initiative Summit holding in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Buhari said his administration will keep encouraging public and private initiatives that increase investment in health, education, capacity building, youth empowerment, gender equality, poverty eradication, climate change, and food security. And lastly, the Senate Committee on Science and Technology has rejected the 2022 budget proposal of the National Board for Technology Incubation. The chairman of the committee, Senator Uche Ekewunife, stated this on Tuesday when the management of the board, led by its acting Director General Taiwo Shomefron, appeared before a panel to defend its 2022 budget. Ekewunife said the panel hinged its decision on the merger of the HISITO separate budget at the over 40 incubation centers across the country with that of the agency's headquarters of the next year's fiscal estimate. She therefore demanded the immediate restoration of the semi-financial autonomy granted to the centers over the years in the interest of the nation's economy and that of the gifted Nigerian youth. Ekewunife also called on the Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed to act on the letter of protest from the Ministry of Science and Technology on the matter and revert to the previous arrangement. And that's all on business segment. Back to Yabo for the segment of the news.
Thank you, Simiat. And now to foreign news. A South African judge on Tuesday dismissed an application by former President Jacob Zuma to have the prosecutor in his arms deals corruption trial removed. The former president, 79, pleaded not guilty to charges of corruption, money laundering, and racketeering in the long-running case over the 1990s deal for military equipment. African Union AU intends to buy up to 110 million doses of vaccine from Moderna. The vaccines will bring the AU closer to its target of vaccinating 900 million people, or 70% of the continent. Precious Chuku has the details on the world today.
A South African judge on Tuesday dismissed an application by former President Jacob Zuma to have the prosecutor in his arms deal corruption trial removed. Zuma, ousted by governing African National Congress in 2018, had urged that a prosecutor was biased against him and submitted a special plea to the Pietermaritzburg High Court to have him replaced. The former president, 79, pleaded not guilty to charges of corruption, money laundering, and racketeering in the long-running case over the 1990 deal for military equipment. Zuma briefly jailed earlier this year for contempt of court for refusing to appear at a Senate corruption inquiry, but he was granted medical parole after being hospitalized for an undisclosed condition.